I didn't see you up there. Hi, I'm Heinbach, and it's good to have you back. You just caught me playing with a new instrument, and that is the No Control or Zero Control by Make Noise. This is an analog 8-step touch sequencer. If you've been watching my channel, you might know that I've got a thing for touch keyboards. It is a bit of a strain on my neck to have you up there, so come on down. That's better. First of all, thank you Make Noise for sponsoring this video and sending me the No Control and the No Coast. I was supposed to send back the No Coast after this video, but I immediately said no. This is a keeper, just when I unboxed it. Because just look at it. It's gold, it's black, it has that Make Noise look to it, which I personally really like. I've been using the Make Noise pressure points and brains combination as my main sequencer in my Eurorack for 9 years now, since 2011. And it was always my favorite way to interact with a modular, because of all the dials that you have there, it's very immediate to change the sound, to change the pitch. It's just direct. There's no stepping through menus. There's no like turning knobs on sub menus or anything. It's a pretty straightforward and fast sequencer. When I first saw the No Control, I was thinking, this is pressure points and brains in a standalone box. And it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It's pretty much its own thing, but of course it's informed by what they did with the pressure points so successfully. But what it definitely is, it's inspiring. Naming a sequencer Zero Control or No Control is a bit of a strange move, and the manual even starts out with a William S. Burroughs quote. All control systems try to make control as tight as possible, but at the same time, if they succeed completely, there would be nothing left to control. But it all makes sense. There are no quantized voltages in here. All your pitches are dialed in via the top row, and there's no way to set it to like a scale as you can, for example, on the Korg SQ1 or the BeatStep Pro, which is basically all preset voltages. The Seat Lombardo Z-Drugs that I play a lot has these sliders, and with these sliders you set the pitch and you got a lot of range and you can tune it very finely. How does the No Control behave in that regard? Well, let's find out. Watching someone tune is a pretty torturous experience, so let's speed this up. So that is as fast as I can dial in a sequence that relates to a pitch on the No Control after one day. The knobs have enough precision to help you along the way, but it is tiny increments. So yeah, you have to be aware of that and you have to have the feeling for that already. And of course, this might be a turnoff for a lot of people, but with a modular, you could of course just insert a quantizer, and a quantizer would easily help you to get the pitches that you want. So that's a non-issue. But of course, if you want to control something standalone and you've got no quantizer, well, you have to either train your ears or use something like the Korg SQ1 that's much more suited and simple for this. This is a rather free device. And of course, you don't even have to use it for pitch. You can use the voltage that comes out of the pitch to control other things. Let's get a quick overview of the functions. First, we've got a clock in and a clock out. You can start the clock using this touch plate, and you can set the tempo with this knob. Next, there's an in for reset. So when you start and stop, you will always go back to the first step of your sequence. This is the in for stopping a sequence, and this is an in for the play direction, which can also be switched using this touch plate. Next, we've got the output for the top row, then the output for the middle row, which is called strength, and then we've got the output for the lower row, which is time. This output will send pressure control voltage. So the more flash I put on the touch plates, the more signal you will get. And this is something that works surprisingly well on the no coast. On the pressure points, I often had the problem, due to whatever case I was using and the power in there, that it was either on or off, and there never was enough variance in there for me. Here it works fine. This output will give you a gate when you touch a plate. These are special because these outputs combine the strength and the time row to give you both a gate and an envelope. And these are especially good for controlling the no coast. You get a combined envelope and a combined gate from time and strength. It can create some very alive and very interesting rhythms. You can set the amplitude of the strength and of the time row using these attenuators. If this touch plate is on, you can jump between different settings, and if it's off, you will just be able to use the touch, which can be handy if you are controlling a sequence and you don't want the sequence to change and you don't want to jump in the sequence, but you're using the touch to control, for example, a filter cutoff. Due to the external clock-in, you can use the no control easily in a bigger ensemble of instruments. For example, in the next track, I'm using this little Retro Kids RK006 MIDI and gate controller to send timing and MIDI all over this setup, and the no control sequences the no coast. No control can easily become a sub-sequencer in a bigger setup that way. But can it be a sequencer for many things at the same time? While it doesn't look like it, it actually can, and that's where you can unlock the whole fun of the time row. In this track, the no control sends clock information to the Metasonics D1000 for drums, it sequences the no coast, and it sends CV to the Novation Summit, controlling that filter and making that rhythm without me sending it any timing or MIDI or anything of that. It's a very simple yet effective setup. You might have noticed the kind of off-kilter feeling of the whole groove, and that's due to something that my friend Navros, or Navs of Navs Modular Lab, called shonky beats. In Modular, I often used pressure points row 3 to modulate the clock giver, which was usually an envelope generator. And by modulating the decay, for example, on something like maths, I could get all these funky and shonky beats, and that functionality is basically built into the no control. There are more subtle ways to do that. For example, on the track that I just played while you came in, we can try to give it just a touch more swing. Everything is set up straight. And now it has a little bit more swing. As you could see, you could do a whole lot more with what appears to be a simple mono sequencer. There's so many more patch opportunities with this instrument, especially because you've got gate outs for each step. So once the sequence passes this, this will fire a gate. And you can do silly stuff with that. For example, super pursuit mode, as it's called in the manual. I just patched something in here, put it to direction, and now when I start it, you can feel like Michael Knight. In this video, I'm not gonna go into all these different patch examples. I'm sure Walker of Make Noise will make lovely videos that will show you on detail what you can do with this, and you'll probably come up with your own ideas. For example, do run this at audio rate. But what I want to talk about is that this is essentially the Make Noise Easel, because this was very much made for the No Coast. And these two together form such a lovely pair, and it's possible to get some of the tonality that you would expect from the Buchla Easel, and definitely the inspiration and the fun. I would love to see a case that puts these together, protected, maybe with a 1/4 inch out, so you can carry them around like your own mini easel. So what is bad about the No Control? Well, not having quantized pitches is something we can leave aside for now, because that's part of the design. It's about giving you control, but not perfect control, because then everything gets boring. But one thing that I found very curious is that I can't slide the pitches. You see? Usually, on any other touch keyboard, I could go here and here and here and here and here, but here it just keeps getting stuck on that step. And that's something I found weird and pretty unusual. I've emailed Make Noise, and future me, maybe you'll put something in here.
Hey there, me from the past. The solution is simple. You just need a tiny, tiny screwdriver, and there's a hole. And you use that hole to make adjustments to the sensitivity of the touch plates. So you make a few turns, a little more, and then, whee! You can slide.
I don't know the price of this yet, so I can't say how it compares to other standalone sequencers, but as far as the whole field of standalone sequencers goes, this is rather unique and beautiful. And for me, this is a perfect addition to something like the SQ1 that is cheap and cheerful and gives you all the quantized pitches that you need. But the No Control, together with that, opens up new worlds. It gives you the unquantized, and it gives you more range. It makes everything more interesting. And it's meant to be an interesting sequencer. It's meant to be more on the experimental side. So is this the perfect sequencer for everybody? That doesn't exist. There's perfect combinations of sequences, especially in modular. And of course, then there's the Serge Touch Keyboard, which is perfect for live control. Then there's other sequences like numerology and the vector sequences that are perfect for me, at least for more composing. But this is a beautiful little performance, improvisation, and giving you food for thought and ideas kind of sequencer. So it lands in that field where you're looking for something different and you are bored because, yeah, you just don't want to type in all these notes. You want to go beyond that. These are my thoughts on the No Control after composing 4 tracks with it. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best as I can, or visit the subreddit. I will be uploading music from this episode to the Patreon, and I'll also do a sound pack of No Coast sounds. But now it's time for you to get back up there and let me finish this piece. Bye bye.